Hi everybody.
Hi
Welcome
guys.
to Star Wars headlines for this week. Rebecca Mosley's unavailable. Alex Rife is not available. Um,
Keep
so
going
you
down the
know,
list. Nobody else is available. You can say it, Mike.
so we have a decidedly non fan of Star Wars here as the guest co-host for Star Wars headlines, but we're gonna go through. There's a bunch of stuff this week, and Tony's gonna be baffled by all of it. Um, but we'll have fun anyway. There, even just before we started, I was writing up some Star Wars news. So, um, Tony, I don't have the list in front of me. Do you have the list?
Well,
Uh,
I have them in order of what you sent me.
okay, yeah, that's great. If we could just do them in that order, that would be fantastic.
Okay.
I feel like the
Well, the
biggest
big,
news is the Obi-Wan casting this week.
yep, which is what I had first. So
Okay, so we'll bring that up,
if
and
there we go. Okay.
yeah, so they released the official cast of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming to Disney Plus. Obviously, we knew Ewan McGregor was back as the titular Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker himself, Hayden Christensen, is also coming back. I'm still not clear on how he's going to be playing Darth Vader, if he's going to be behind the helmet, or if there's going to be flashbacks, or if he's going to be a hologram or a
When does it take
Force
place
ghost.
and everything? Do you know?
Well, yeah, so this series is halfway between episodes 3 and 4. So it's after Revenge of the Sith, but before the original Star Wars film, A New Hope. So he's already Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan is already like hiding out on Tatooine. I don't know. They haven't really made it clear how Hayden Christensen is going to be involved, or how. Yeah, I don't know. How are they going to do that?
Or
Well,
why?
yeah, but they said they're going to fight, which also doesn't make sense to me either. But I guess we'll find out. This next lady, I can't read her name. Can you?
Moses Ingram?
Yeah, I don't know who she's playing. They haven't said. People have thrown out a lot of theories. Obviously, once these cast lists come out, people start theorizing that she's like playing young Ahsoka Tano. I don't know. You never know. But the next two are very exciting. Those two, you got Joel Edgerton and Bonnie. I don't know how to say her last name. Peace.
Pisces?
Yeah.
Peace?
If you watch The Vow on HBO, that documentary about that cult, she was a big part of that. But she was also an actress who played Aunt Beru in the Star Wars prequels. So now she's back as
That's
Aunt
why I
Beru.
know the name. Okay. She came
Did
to
you
Star
watch
Wars
that?
Weekends was no, but she came to
Oh,
Star Wars Weekends.
yes. I'm
I
sure
was
she
a
went to
big
Star
fan of
Wars
Star
Weekend.
Wars Weekends. That's the
Okay,
extent of my Star Wars fandom right there. But
just the
yes.
theme park stuff.
Yep.
But
The
yeah,
original trilogy too. Episode 2 is where I gave up.
gotcha. No, that's
Yep.
totally understandable. But yeah, speaking of episode 2, Joel Edgerton there in the top right played Uncle Owen, and Bonnie there was Aunt Beru. So they're going to be back watching over little baby Luke Skywalker. I guess he'll be about 10 years old. They haven't said whether they've cast a new Luke Skywalker at that age, but we'll find out. And then one of my favorite stand-up comics, Kumail Nanjiani, there. He in an unspecified role. He's also going to be in the Eternals, Marvel
Yep.
Studios Eternals film coming up. Then Indira Varma from Game of Thrones. And some other stuff. She's going to be on the show. We don't know who. And then these other cast members, we don't know who they're playing. But it is fun to know who the cast will be.
Well, is this a friend of yours?
Rupert Friend.
Rupert
Um,
Friend. I hear he's a friend of everybody's.
he's a friend to mankind. But yeah, that's exciting. And they said the production's going to start in April, which is this month. So yeah, that's underway. I'm sure we'll get that at some point in 2022. We can look forward to seeing the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Tony, are you excited for that?
It might get my attention. I'm about to crack. I'm kind of in a protest face, and I kind of know my 101 of everything. Mandalorian's about to get me to crack and just start binging that. So
Oh,
don't
okay.
tell my friends.
I'm shocked that you haven't watched it yet, but
No,
are you watching the Marvel stuff? Did you watch
no.
WandaVision, Falcon, and the Winter Soldier? No?
WandaVision,
Oh,
everybody says I would like just because it's like the retro TV shows.
yes.
So it has my attention, but I haven't sat and watched everything yet. So
Okay. Well, that's Obi-Wan. What's next?
the Bad Batch.
Oh yeah, we got a new trailer. This is called the official trailer for the Bad Batch. Previously, on Disney Investor Day, they gave us like a, it was like a sizzle reel, I think they called it.
Hmm.
And then now this is the official trailer. They introduce all the characters. We see a lot of Admiral Tarkin, who later becomes Grand Moff Tarkin in the original Star Wars film. And
He
then we
lost
get
to Grogu in a recent battle that I saw.
yeah, right. If you watch the end of last week's Star Wars headlines, there was a showdown between Grogu up there and one of my Grand Moff Tarkin action figures. Now I've got Baze Malbus here. Anyway, it introduced a new character called Omega, which my
Sorry.
theory. Well, that's fine. We love the tangents. That's no problem. So there's this kid called Omega, and my theory initially, based on the name, was that Omega is probably the final clone of Jango Fett. And then you got the Bad Batch, which are a bunch of clones who have like weird, advantageous mutations that help them out in battle. And this takes place after Episode 3 as well, so it'll be interesting to see that era in the Star Wars story. And we'll also see Fennec Shand from The Mandalorian, and what's his name? Forrest Whitaker's character. I always forget his name. Saw Gerrera is gonna come from Rogue One. He first appeared in the Clone Wars cartoon, and now he's coming back in this. What were you gonna say?
That's unfortunately the field where I can't help you out there. I'm like,
No,
no,
I know,
I got
I know.
nothing. Okay.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, but that's going to premiere May the 4th, Star Wars Day, May the 4th, a little over a month from now. We'll get the Bad Batch on Disney Plus, the animated series.
It looks very in style, very similar to Clone Wars and Rebels, right?
Yeah, well, I think they
Yep.
want it to be tied a little bit more to Clone Wars because these characters were
Okay.
introduced in the final season of Clone Wars last year on Disney Plus, and it's kind of a spin-off of that. So yeah, it is more toward Clone Wars style, I think.
Yeah, 'cause it definitely has that look to it. Cool.
Yep.
Then we've got the ILM behind the scenes for The Mandalorian.
Yeah, this
that
just
was
came out
today.
today. This
Yeah.
is a new video that just premiered on YouTube from Industrial Light and Magic, and it was just more behind the scenes about how they use that virtual production system in the what they call the volume, that big
Mhm.
soundstage that they built that has all the screens. And it's pretty like revolutionary what they're doing over there, and it was just
'Cause
cool
this
to
is
see.
this is all digital behind them, right? That's all projected.
Yeah, not even projected, but
Yep.
actually on the screen behind them.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you would call that. It's not really projection though. It's just I don't know.
But just like on a screen.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
just
actually in the
physically.
desert, is what I'm saying.
Yes, so they
Yes. Okay.
they either create the imagery in a computer, obviously, or they will
Mhm.
go out and physically shoot the backgrounds somewhere else and then put it on the screen behind them. And in certain cases, they've actually created miniatures, models, and use those as the backdrops. It's so crazy that they're doing this now. They're building miniature sets and putting like making them big and putting the actors in. It's like having a
Mhm.
shrink ray, to insert the actors into these
Yeah.
environments. It's just so crazy. Did you watch
I
that
didn't know they
video?
were doing models. That's awesome. No, not yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to though. That's fascinating.
Yeah, if you watch
I've
if
been
you watch the go ahead.
I was gonna say I've been streaming with Alex at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. That's for most of my day it's been so far. But this just came out today, and it has my
Yeah.
attention, so I'll be watching
No,
that
that's
for sure.
fine. Yeah, but this is great to watch. This is like 7 minutes long, but then also there's an hour long making of season 2 that's on Disney Plus, called the Disney Gallery,
Okay.
and that's even better, and that's got a lot more to it as well. But yeah, check that out, and we've got it on laughingplace.com.
As all these articles are coming from
Yeah,
laughingplace.com.
they're all. Um, give me one moment.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm taking care of two things, as I said.
No, you're
Uh,
fine. This is actually
okay.
like
Yeah.
again, I'm not well versed in everything, especially like the newer stuff and the offshoot
Yeah.
books and everything like that. And this is one of them. And I said something about Thrawn once, and a friend of mine lit up, and I'm like, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah. Okay. Great. This literally just came out like an hour ago. This news. I love Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. He was first introduced in a novel called Heir to the Empire, which was actually like 30 years ago exactly this year. Um, Created by Timothy Zahn, the author there. And since then, he's written a bunch of books with Thrawn, including some in the new canon, and this is the second trilogy that he's writing for the new canon. And now they've announced the final book in that trilogy, which is actually coming out much sooner than anyone expected, because book one in this trilogy was out last spring or summer, and then book two is coming out this month. It's coming out April 27th, and then now they've announced book three for November 16th. So we're getting two Thrawn novels in the same year. I'm super excited. I think I can say I'm reading book two right now. I have a review copy. I'm not allowed to say what I thought of it until the embargo.
Yep.
I think April 20th I can write my review, but I am in the middle of that book, and I always enjoy Zahn's writing. One of my favorite Star Wars authors.
I just like that you're like, I'm reading it.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
Yeah,
but I mean, this trilogy is like his origin story, so they kind of rewound the timeline a little bit, and we got to see what he was up to in the Chiss military, which is kind of separate from the main Star Wars galaxy. So it's cool to get like a bunch of new characters and new locations that we really haven't seen before in Star Wars. So I'll say that much.
Yep.
And
That's one thing I think.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I was gonna say the books have built upon the universe so much. That's why I feel so out of the loop, because I feel like to even know a half of what's going on in Star Wars at all now, I need to read all the books.
Yeah, the books have long been one of my favorite aspects of Star Wars. And this one got announced just an hour ago as well. This is called The Odyssey of Star Wars.
Breaking news.
Poem. Yeah, a lot of stuff just coming out right before this stream. This was announced on the This Week in Star Wars show. And this is inspired by the epic poems like the Iliad, the Odyssey, all those famous works of Homer. But now he's translated, this author Jack Mitchell has translated that into Star Wars, covering, it starts apparently with the Battle of Scarif from Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and then goes through the end of Return of the Jedi at the Battle of Endor in like an epic poem form. And they've done this kind of thing before with like the Shakespeare Star Wars stuff, which I never really got into, but I'm probably going to check this out to review it for the site. So we'll see how that is. That's coming out in September, I think. September 28th.
Okay. And now everything is locked up on me. It doesn't. I don't see a date, but I'll trust you on that one.
I see it there.
Verify. But okay.
September 28th.
Oh, I got rid of it. Sorry.
That's okay. I think we have a bit of lag.
In the meantime, while this loads up, Amy says howdy. Yeah, I think so too. Amy says howdy, guys. Howdy, Amy.
Hi, Amy. This is another book that I just reviewed. This is a printed version of the script for the Star Wars Doctor Aphra audio drama that came out last year by Sarah Kuhn. I actually had Sarah Kuhn on my podcast to talk about when she wrote the audio drama, but now they've just printed the script from that, which is something that they've been doing for the other ones as well. And I really enjoyed the audio drama. It's an adaptation of a series of comic books where Dr. Aphra first appeared. But now, I figured that this is best for those who might be hard of hearing and can't listen to the audio drama, and then you can read along for the script. It's good to have that accessible to those fans as well. Or if you want to just like read the stage directions and stuff that Sarah Kuhn wrote, it's all very fun and amusing. And that character of Dr. Aphra is always very entertaining.
I was going to say, why are all the characters like Doctor now? Like there's Doctor Strange, Dr. Aphra.
Dr. Strangelove.
That too. I was like, I said now, but I didn't feel like that one was really current.
That was 50 years ago.
This one, I'm going to put up this. I have to put up this image. As far as I know, the cover list is not final, right?
For which?
If it loads up, I had it all set up and it didn't go. There we go.
Yeah.
This one. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, the cover's not final. This is another announcement that came out this past week, and this is in the High Republic series, which it takes place like 200 years before the original trilogy. But this is going to be another of those audio dramas, and it's written by Cavan Scott, who does the Star Wars The High Republic comic book. He's also writing one of the novels in the High Republic series. But this guy's just crazy prolific. He just churns out Star Wars stories right now. He's one of the most frequent authors coming up in Star Wars lately. So I am looking forward to this. I really enjoy his writing, and I have enjoyed the High Republic so far. This is going to focus on one of the villains from the series.
Like one we already know, or a new one?
One that has been established in the novels that have come
Okay.
out already. Her name is Lorna D.
Okay.
And she is one of the leaders of the group called the Nile, who are the main villains of the High Republic era.
Now this one is more my speed, I think. I wish I had a Wookiee and other poems for our galaxy.
Yeah, so this is another poetry kind of thing. This is actually a kid's poem collection. Oh, Donna Pendleton pointed out there's Doctor Who as well as another Doctor.
I threw that up there.
Oh, okay. That's also been around
Yep.
for a while.
Yep.
This is a collection of poems for kids. In the announcement, they said it was inspired by Shel Silverstein, which I remember.
I was just going to say that's so funny because the art
Yeah.
kind of looks like it to me.
Yeah.
But yes.
I remember reading Shel Silverstein growing up. Was that like Where the Sidewalk Ends?
Where the
and stuff?
sidewalk ends, and I don't remember the
Yeah.
rest of. There was 3 big ones, but Where the Sidewalk Ends was the only one I had.
Yeah, but what's the date on this one? I don't remember. This came out. This announcement was a few days ago. But yeah, it's by Ian Dosher, I think is the name of the author.
I think that's yeah. September 28th.
Okay, so that's the same date as the epic poem one. So I'll be doing a lot of Star Wars poetry reading in the fall. But this one's for kids. Yeah. This one should go by pretty quick. Although it says like 75 poems or something, which seems like
It said
lot.
75. That caught my attention. Yeah. It said 75 poems and illustrations when it's released on September 28th.
Yeah. There you go. Wish I had a Wookiee.
Then, Give a Mouse a Wookiee. It might be the sequel. Star Wars: The High Republic Show, Episode 2.
So this is another web series that Lucasfilm has been doing. It's a longer form web series all about the High Republic, and they just released episode 2, where they had interviews with some of the authors and behind the scenes talent behind the High Republic, and then they give you like a little update, like a canon update and a timeline update about what's been happening in the story. Because the High Republic, it's got a bunch of different novels, a bunch of different comic books, and then there's eventually going to be a TV show, obviously that audio drama that we just talked about. Mm-hmm. So I guess this is kind of how they're making sure fans are keeping up with everything and kind of refreshing people's memories of what's going on in the High Republic. So you can watch that on the official Star Wars YouTube channel. And I also wrote a big recap of everything they covered.
Yep. That's what I was just scrolling through right
on laughingplace.com. You can check that out. That still image there was from a little animation that they did about this family called the Santeca clan. And if you remember in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, there's this character called Lord Santeca, who gives Poe Dameron the map to Luke Skywalker or whatever. But now this in the High Republic, 200, 300 years earlier or whatever, we follow his ancestors because they're all like explorers and map makers and stuff, so they kind of factor into this story.
When I was scrolling, I thought we were going to stumble on a big ad for Disney Plus. Just at this point right there, I thought it was a Disney Plus ad right there.
Yeah, it's subconscious synergy they're probably going for, yeah.
I think you've just coined a new term that is going to be adopted in the corporate guidebook.
I think it's called
synergy.
Subliminal advertising. They've already got that, yeah.
But there's some free comics coming out.
Yeah, High Republic stuff coming on Free Comic Book Day. Do you know about Free Comic Book Day, Tony?
I know what Free Comic Book Day is, yeah.
Yeah. So once a year, if you go to your local comic shop on a given day, they will give you the date. You don't have to guess the date.
I remember there was one in May in 2019. Yeah. I was at Universal City Walk in Hollywood, and there's Things from Another World, I think is what it's called, but it's like a big comic shop there too. Yeah. And it was Free Comic Book Day, and there was a line. I was, what's going on? And my friend snagged some. I didn't.
And then they have a lot of good stuff. You know, Marvel does some stuff. Obviously, both IDW and Marvel, I think, are putting out some Star Wars comics. But this year it's in August. I think because of the pandemic, it got delayed a bit. But August 14th, you can go to your local comic shop and get
Yep.
a bunch of. If you scroll down a little bit more, yeah, I guess whoever
Yep.
wrote this listed some examples of what you can grab.
Avatar, The Last Airbender, Sonic the Hedgehog, Star Wars, Gloomhaven, The Smurfs, and more.
And more. Yeah. So that'll be
I
good.
want to see some Smurfs comics in 2021. Like that's what I want to see. Oh,
I
here's some
feel
more
like
titles.
the Smurfs has one female character, so you think they've changed that by now to like balance it out a little bit more? I feel like that wouldn't fly these days.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We live Archie, past, present, and future fun. Archie. But here's the Star Wars is an important one. Avengers,
Yeah,
Hulk
yeah.
#1. Blade Runner, One Shot, Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Oh, there's levels of titles.
I don't get the whole silver whatever thing. I don't know what that means.
But yeah, it looks like a ton.
Yeah.
And then more. Dr. Aphra, you just talked about it.
Oh yeah, this is just a list of some recent Star
Reviews.
Wars
That's
reviews.
those aren't free comic book day
Yeah.
ones. Don't quote. Those are just more reviews.
Yeah. So there's like six or seven currently running Star Wars comics. So there's plenty out there. If you want to get into Star Wars comics, I always recommend them. They've been doing a great job.
And so these are the ones that are going to be on free comic book day.
Yes. Yes. That one on the right is a preview of the manga they're doing for the High Republic, I think.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I remember when High Republic got announced, everybody thought it was going to be like this new big thing. And it is a big thing, but it just
Right.
looked like it was going to be like maybe a new trilogy or something.
Yeah, well, they had teased it as the Project Luminous, and they had that big announcement event that I went to at the Disney
Yep.
Studios lot. I mean, it was a big deal for the Star Wars fandom, but yeah, it's not in the live action or animation or anything.
Yep.
It's just mostly in the publishing world right now. This is just if you play the video game Star Wars Squadrons. These are just a couple new cosmetics that you can get. What?
I'm sorry. As soon as you said that, I read it and it caught my eye. When you sent me what we're covering today, and I saw new cosmetics, and I thought it was a line of makeup, like Star Wars themed makeup. So as soon as you said Squadrons game, and I saw it right there too, right here, I was just like, oh, it's in the
Yeah.
game. It's not actual makeup.
No, they just mean these are little like things you can decorate your cockpit with in the game. So it doesn't affect the gameplay at all. It's just purely for looks, which is why they call it a cosmetic, I guess. But you get a rebel helmet, and then that thing on the right, that hologram is the Purrgil. These are these giant space whales that are in Star Wars Rebels, the animated series. But those are just things you can put in your cockpit in the game. I haven't played the game since
I was gonna say, do you
reviewed
play?
it.
Okay.
I played through the whole single player mission campaign. I have never played the multiplayer online component because I dread it. I dread playing against strangers and that kind of thing.
It's probably just a lot of people who know that they can't be seen, so they just shout
Yes.
obscenities. Yes.
Exactly. And I have a neighbor. One of our neighbors is a teenage kid who's playing, I don't know, Fortnite or whatever.
Okay.
And he's constantly shouting at people. I'm just like, I don't want to play against people like that.
My roommate's a streamer on Twitch, and I hear him screaming through the wall sometimes.
Yeah.
It's usually in defense, not offense, but yes. And in fairness, you and Rebecca usually talk about Star Wars merchandise and stuff at some point. So that's kind of where my brain went with purchasable cosmetics.
That's fair.
Now, this one's about the guy from Wild Wild West and Dave, Kevin Kiner.
That's Kevin Kline, I think.
Oh, Kevin Kline. Okay, my apologies.
This is an interview that I did with composer Kevin Kiner, who is the composer of the musical score for basically the three, well, not Star Wars Resistance, but he did Star Wars Clone Wars, which is a lot, 7 seasons worth. Star Wars Rebels, which I think was 4 seasons, and then the upcoming Star Wars The Bad Batch. So they wanted me to kind of hold the Bad Batch discussion until closer to when the show comes
Mhm.
out. So I split the interview in two, and you can go read part one right now. This is all about the Clone Wars on laughingplace.com. He talks about what it was like creating the score for the Clone Wars. And then in like a month, I'm going to publish the second half where he talks about Rebels. Um,
Nice.
his score for his Ahsoka Tano theme was featured in The Mandalorian. So I asked him about that. And then he talks about the Bad Batch as well. But this is the transcribed version of the interview, and you can also listen to the interview on our Star Wars podcast, Who's the Bossk, which is our next item. It's a good segue.
That is a good segue.
So on Who's the Bossk this season, the second season of this show that I host for Laughing Place, we are covering all of the major Lucasfilm and George Lucas projects from the beginning of the company all the way up through the Disney acquisition about a decade ago, in celebration of Lucasfilm's 50th anniversary. And this week, we got up to a little scene animated film called Twice Upon a Time. Have you seen that movie?
No, but I'm interested now.
Yeah, I had never seen it before this past weekend when I watched it to talk about it for the show. It was interesting. I don't know if I would say it was great, but it's certainly worth watching just to see it, I think.
How long is it? Is it a
it's
feature?
very
Or is it like
short.
a short? Okay.
It's 75 minutes. I mean, it's a short
Oh.
feature.
Okay. Yes.
It is feature length, but it is
yes.
short.
It's a yes.
Um,
Not Dumbo short, but still short.
Yes. And a big chunk of that is like they like 5 minutes at the top they spend just introducing the characters with like still frames and captions. I'm like, they were padding this out. But it is interesting to watch, and it did involve a lot of behind the scenes talent that went on to do other stuff. Henry Selick, who you know from Nightmare Before
Christmas
and other stuff.
Coraline, I believe.
Yeah, James and the Giant Peach. David Fincher worked on this movie. The director of Fight Club and Seven.
Is it? I was gonna say, is it as surreal as his brand is?
I think he was just like an effects guy on this or something.
Okay.
But he wasn't he wasn't instrumental.
What's the date on this?
1984,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. So it's as old
Maybe.
as I am.
Yeah, it's roughly it's like early 80s. But yeah, I had never seen it. I was very interested to see it. It was only ever available on DVD via the Warner Archive, which is it was like for obscure titles that they didn't want to release in stores, but you could order it like directly through Warner Brothers, and it's since gone out of print, so I had to order it off eBay and stuff. But yeah, it was pretty interesting discussion.
Now I want to know how much that was on eBay.
Oh, it wasn't expensive. I got it for like $25.
Okay. Now, because I said what I should have known, my apologies. Because you're going in order, right? This season,
yes,
of everything.
Yep.
So here are some of the past.
All of Lucasfilm in order. Yeah.
Yeah. So here are some of the past ones: American Graffiti, first Star Wars, more American Graffiti. Yeah.
Yep.
So what's up next?
Next, I just watched it last night to refresh my memory. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Nice.
I'm going to be recording that on Friday, and the episode will come out next week.
Good fun.
I think that brings us up to date.
Yes. Is there anything else you want to add, Mike?
No, I don't know. Not Star Wars wise, although I feel like there was a lot this week, so I'm glad we got through it. And thank you for suffering through it, Tony. I know you're not a big Star Wars.
I wasn't suffering. It was. I just felt like I was like, I wish I could contribute. Like, oh, my thoughts on this are blank.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah. No
I got
problem.
Nothing. What else is coming up on Laughing Place?
Well, later on tonight we have the Laughing Place TV Club. I think I'm going to see you again for that.
Yeah.
We will be talking about our favorite TV shows we've been watching from the Disney canon. I'll be talking about some Saturday morning cartoons. Mike, what are you going to talk about?
I'm doing Simpsons this week.
Shocker. I should have known that. Or maybe I didn't. I just wanted you to talk. Later on, we have that's it for today, and then in the coming days, there's more fun coming live from the park. So if you want to be notified, remember to like, subscribe, ring that bell, get notified whenever we go live from the parks or with our traditional stuff like Star Wars headlines. Marvel Time Live, Marvel Mondays is happening also. There's no Disney Trivia Live for the next 2 weeks or so. They're on hiatus. You'll probably see me again at some point in a position where I don't know what's going on because of that kind of stuff. Anything you want to add,
I
Mike?
should say about a month from now, on May the 4th, Star Wars Day, I will be guest co-hosting Disney Trivia Live, and I'm writing some
nice.
fun Star Wars trivia quizzes for that. So,
are they fun or are they challenging? Those aren't always mutually exclusive.
I would say they're both.
Okay.
I'm trying to make it a little challenging. I don't like it when it's a little too easy and everybody's got the same score. I want to see those scores like fluctuating,
Awesome. All right, how are you doing May 4th? While I have you, I'm going to ask.
What am I doing?
Like, what are you doing to celebrate?
Well, usually I'd go to Disneyland, but this year it's going to be very strange because the park will have just opened. It's going to be difficult to get tickets, and I was talking to our CEO about this, like whether we should plan on me going that day if I can get in. But I think we kind of landed on, if they do something in the parks, it'll probably be in Orlando as well, and maybe Jeremiah could go get that. But I'm probably going to cover the outside the park May the 4th stuff. So, I'll do Disney Trivia Live, and then during the day before that, I'll have an episode of my podcast up, and I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of news coming out, and the Bad Batch is premiering that day, so I'll cover that.
Cool.
And we'll probably have a live stream to celebrate as well.
I'm glad you had a real answer, but secretly I wanted you to be like, I like to celebrate privately. So that was.
Please respect my isolation on this day as I light my candles to Jar Jar.
Why Jar Jar? Why Jar Jar? So I'm gonna go off topic before we go. We kind of talked about it before. Do you think Jar Jar was gonna be a Sith?
No, I never put any. No, that's one of those fan theories that I was never on board with.
I don't like fan theories at all, but that's one I got behind simply because of the Happy Meal toy. There was a Happy Meal toy of him shooting lightning or something.
That's actually a kind of another little piece of news that came out with the Obi-Wan casting, is that Ahmed Best said on Twitter that he's definitively not in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which I guess it hadn't occurred to me that he might be, because Obi-Wan knows Jar Jar, and Jar Jar is still alive in that period, so he could show up, but I didn't think like, okay, they're gonna go back to Jar Jar, and I guess they're not. So
for the record, Ahmed Best was Jar Jar Binks for
the
everybody out there who isn't aware. But yes, and that was another thing that sold me on the fan theory, is he came out and tweeted it something like, "It's so great to be recognized, even if it took decades later for what I was meant to be," or something like that. So
did that anyway, that might have had something to do with the game show, right? The Jedi Temple Challenge or whatever.
Oh, I don't know.
He hosted a Star Wars game show last year on YouTube.
This was a few years ago, so I don't think it had anything to do with that. No, yeah, but now I want to see like a Star Wars Legends of the Hidden Temple, like
that's
the way
that is. Yeah,
is it the Steps of Knowledge, everything like that?
I mean, it's basically like a carbon copy of Legends of the Hidden Temple with Star Wars. Yeah,
where can I watch that?
It's on the Lucasfilm YouTube channel. It's on Star Wars YouTube channel.
All right, I'm looking that up later.
I'll send you the link.
Okay, that's my evening. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. I won't be on TV Club now because I'll be watching the Star Wars Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
So real quick, catch up on Big City Greens and Amphibia. Fill in for me. All right. Thanks, Mike. All right. Bye, everybody. Remember to like, subscribe, ring that bell, get notified whenever we go live like this. So long, everybody. Who's fighting tonight?
Who's fighting?
Yeah. Who's Grogu's against who today?
Oh gosh. Well, I can't reach Grogu, so I'll have Kylo Ren versus Baze Malbus. Okay. I don't know. Who's your money on?
Kylo.
All right, let's see.
Okay. Oh yeah, I win. All right. 20 to 1. Bye everybody.